Today we're talking about the operations and functions of the new HR600. So right off the bat, you're going to see that we don't have the buttons and indicator lights on the front. They're actually on the bottom of the unit. So again, most of the time when you're turning it on, you're going to have it in your hand kind of looking at you. So you can see we've got a camera above so you can see that. You've got 3 buttons on the bottom of the unit. You've got a power button, mode button, and the light indicator button. So again, the power button turns that unit on. So you press and hold it for a good second. That's going to turn the unit on. It's going to go through its light and startup sequence. From there, you'll see the red LEDs also come on and turn back off. You can see I'm in standard mode and it shows me my battery life. It's always going to start on standard mode. If I press that mode button, the light indicator for my battery and the mode indicator light's going to switch. Now I'm on boost. So it goes from standard to boost to hyper boost to dry wash. If I press that mode button again, now I'm in hyper. If I press it again, now I'm in dry wash. The other functionality that the HR600 has that you can't do it through the buttons is putting it on locker mode. That works with the app. You can download that off the App Store. And again, you can do the functionality of the locker mode through the app. Again, we've got the unit powered on. Mode button switches the modes. I'm in standard mode. If I press it again, now I'm in boost mode. If I want to turn those red LEDs on, I just press that light button and it turns the LEDs on. Those LEDs are going to stay on until you press that light button again, and that's what's going to turn them off. When you go to power off your ozonics unit, you're going to press that power button and you're going to see it goes through a light sequence of the shutdown. Initially, it's going to turn off that coil right away, but that fan is going to continue to run. What that's doing is we're trying to flush the ozone off of that coil. So it's just going to push air and pump air out of that unit. It takes about 10 to 15 seconds for the unit to shut completely down. The other thing to talk about when we're looking at our HR600, again, you can see we don't have a fan on the bottom. We've got the fan intake on the top, okay? Pulling the air in, going through that fan, and then pushing it back over that coil, ozone coming out the front. So when you look at the bottom of the unit, it's a bit different. We have a redesigned battery, okay? Much like the HR500 battery, 300 battery, you've got terminals on the bottom of the battery and you've got pins on the inside that where the terminals touch those pins. We've got clips right here. Again, you can pinch those tabs or clips and that will let the battery kind of snap into place. There's also little error indicators to indicate that the battery is put in the right way. If you try to put the battery in upside down, it just won't go in. You can see it just doesn't fit, okay? So you gotta make sure you put it in the right way. We don't want you jamming it in there too hard, right? So it only fits in one way. The other thing to mention when we're looking at the battery is how you charge the battery. So actually on the back of the unit, we have internal charging with the HR600. So you would take your AC cord and power supply, plug that into the wall, and that power supply plugs right into the back of the HR600. So when this is charging, just like the other chargers, it's going to go red when it's charging. When it's done, it's going to go solid green. So when we look at the runtime of this battery comparatively, we're talking about up to 13 hours on standard mode, up to 10 hours on boost, and up to 9 hours on hyper boost. So it's a big jump when we talk about the performance and the runtime of that battery in this new redesigned HR600. The other thing to mention about the HR600 is the replaceable coil. So again, if you're going to be replacing that coil, make sure that your ozonics unit is off. As another precaution, you could always just, once you've got the unit off, take the battery out. That'll make sure that it seriously isn't on, okay? So if I've got my battery out, you can just pinch these tabs on the sides. You'll hear it make a little snap, and then that coil will just come right out. You can set that one off to the side, grab your new coil. Be careful not to touch the coil. We don't want the oil off your fingers to get on that coil. It can really create and it can compromise the integrity of that coil. So just hold it on the sides, and then you'll, again, like the battery, it's got little indicator arrows to make sure that that's going in the right way. If you try to put it upside down, just like the battery, it's keyed so it won't go in. But just line up those arrows, and then you can either just press it down, you'll hear it snap, or if you're trying to put it in quietly, you can just pinch those tabs and you really won't hear a thing. Once you got that coil back in, then you just can put your battery back in, make sure that it's, the tabs are lined up, power your ozonics back on, and you're good to go. I mentioned this a second ago. I just want to go back over it again. The HR600 is also app and remote compatible. So you can connect the remote just like you would with the HR500. And it's also app compatible. So you can download that app from the App Store. Like I mentioned earlier, with the app, you can put it in locker mode that you can't just do from the unit. But with that as well, with the app, you could turn the unit on, turn it off. You can switch the modes. You'll see what mode you're in. It'll also, what the feature that I like the best is, well, two features is my battery runtime. Every time you switch the mode on the app, it's going to show you and it'll switch the runtime of how much time you have left. The other thing that's cool about the app with the HR600 is you can turn the lights, the red LED lights on and off, which is a really cool thing, especially it's early in the morning or right at the end of the night, you're trying to tear everything down. To be able to just take your phone out and just press that light indicator on is pretty sweet. Talking about the functionality and operation of the unit again, when we talk about the different modes, so again, it turns on in standard mode. Standard mode is for ground blinds. We press that mode button and we put it to boost mode. Boost mode is for tree stands or open air environments. The whole idea behind the hyper boost mode is it's going to give you 25% above boost. So if you're in that situation right before dark and you want that little extra ozone, that's what the hyper boost mode is going to do. And then obviously the dry wash mode works in conjunction with the dry wash bag. Thanks for watching our video today about the operations and functions of the new HR600. If you have any questions or want to check out any other videos, jump on our website at ozonicsHoney.com or feel free to give us a call at 979-285-2401. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again and good luck out there.